Did you tell Grandma she needed an iPhone? Why? So you can FaceTime? Before you tell Grandma to buy an iPhone, or before you tell Grandpa to buy the newest Samsung S22 Ultra, or the Fold, or the Flip, watch this video. I'm going to give you some pointers. I'm helping your older family members buy phones that they can use, and that they can use, and that they can use. So let's talk about it. Older family members need phones too. A lot of them have flip phones because that's what's familiar to them. If you want them to have a better phone, don't force them into a smartphone. They are intimidated by the technology. They don't understand how to use it. It confuses them. And quite honestly, I've seen this firsthand. They don't really know how to physically use them very well, because as you get older, your muscles and everything change, and they're used to having to push buttons, and they're still trying to push buttons when there's not any buttons. They're jabbing the screen. That's not good for phones. And it doesn't work very well. Phones require a bit softer touch, and sometimes older people have a hard time with that because they're so used to pushing buttons. So if your older grandparents, your older parents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, whatever, have flip phones and they need new phones because their old ones are worn out, maybe check out a different flip phone. Don't force them into buying an iPhone or a Flip or a Fold just because that's what phone you have and you like your phone. Let them keep their flip phones. Just get them a new flip phone. TCL makes a really good flip phone. It's a smart flip, so they can still use stuff like maps and stuff on it, but really, in reality, all they're doing is calling people. Most of them don't even text. They don't want to text. They want to talk. So please, stop making your older family members buy iPhones. Tip number 2. If your older family member has, let's say, they have an iPhone. Maybe they have one of the older 6s, or, and some of them still have these, the original iPhone SE. Keep them with iPhones. Get them a new SE. Unless they really do need that bigger screen, and then let's go with the 14 Plus. Or with a 12 or an 11. Now, older people do use iPhones. I've seen this. And some are very tech savvy, but others are not. They just want to use what they're used to using. They don't like change. And they don't really want to learn how to use something else. So if they have an iPhone, an older one, just get them with the new SE or, a bigger one, because they're all going to be set up the same way. They might have a little bit of trouble with the new user interface with the dynamic island and the widgets and all that. Don't force it on them. Just let them use their phones to do whatever it is that they do. Tip number 3. If your older family members have, let's say, Samsungs. They've got an old J series that is just dead and you can't stand it anymore. Their phones never stay charged. Half the time they're dropping calls. Maybe the screen is so clouded over and scratched that you can't really even see it to begin with. Let's get them a new A-line Samsung, instead of going forward with an S22. I've seen this so many times. Younger family members want to get their older family members what they have. Just because you have a Flip, a Fold, or a 22 in your hand doesn't mean Grandma, that maybe likes to look at a little Facebook, play a coloring game, or just, look up stuff randomly on the internet. Don't force her into getting more phone than she can handle. However, if you do have a tech-savvy grandparent, congratulations, you're awesome, they're awesome. Get them what they have. If they have an older, let's say a Note 8 or a Note 9, get them the Ultra. They're going to love it. If your older grandparent has an older Motorola E5 Cruise, maybe not like the Edge. That might be a little bit too much phone for them. But a G Pure or a G5G might be a great idea for them. The bottom line is this. Our grandparents are not us. If you know all your grandma is doing is looking at stuff on Pinterest, Facebook, and calling people, don't force her to spend $1,000 on a phone. If you know Grandpa has had a flip phone since phones were invented and that's all he knows how to use, don't force him into a smartphone. And if your Aunt Sandy has an iPhone and that's all she has ever used, don't force her into the Pro Max if she doesn't want to. That's all I'm saying. I've seen this so many times. older family members come in the store and they ask for more phone than they can handle because their grandkids told them to. If you want to FaceTime and your grandma's got an Android phone, guess what? Use Duo, Google Meet, Zoom. They can learn how to use that. And you can see them. Or how about this? Go visit. If you want to help your grandparents or your parents get a better phone and they can use a smartphone and they are just tech savvy enough to handle a little bit better phone, this is the phone my dad's got. Right here, the Pixel 6a. I've got him set up to decline spam calls. Call filters are turned on. His text filters are turned on. He's taking pictures. He's looking up stuff on the internet. And his phone is flawless. He's dropping less calls. And he's really happy with the Pixel 6a.